In today's video, I am going to be talking about what I just did to this truck.
Didn't even get to cross.
Okay, so as you can see, no longer do I have the stock rims and tires. Now, the new fit up is 22-inch by 10 fuel Saber rims. I've got 33-inch by 12.5-inch Toyo open country tires on it, and the thing looks amazing. Now, I've got an offset of minus 18 millimeters, and yeah, I love the stance of this thing. It's sticking out about, the tires are sticking out about 2.5 inches maybe, something along those lines. See from the front, get a front angle there. It's actually hard to see on camera, I feel, but it looks mean. It's a mean looking truck now. It actually looks so good. Okay, couple things to note about doing something like this to your truck. Number one, it does rub. And as you can see, to prevent some of the rubbing, I put a leveling kit on it. Now the leveling kit is a 2.5-inch kit, and obviously a leveling kit, you don't put anything in the back, it's only in the front to level it out. I'm gonna be redoing a part of the video because when I reviewed the video from being inside the gym area or the garage or whatever, I realized the lighting was very, very poor and you were not able to actually see what I was pointing to. So, with that said, I'm going to show you what we did in order to allow the tires to fit and stop rubbing. So, as you can see right here, this crash bar had an extension that was bolted to these nuts right here.
Got him! Got him!
That can't hit the video. Or maybe it can. So this portion of the crash bar was actually unbolted, and the crash bar extension, which kind of probably stuck out about 6 inches here, was taken off because, as you can see, this portion of the tires, in these lugs, on the outside of the lugs here, the crash bar had a cover plate that was sticking out at the end of the crash bar about maybe 1/8 of an inch, and it was actually, when you cut the tires hard or the wheels hard, it would actually rub into the tires here and started to cut the lug. So we had to take that off. And on the other side here, as you can see, the crash bar here was actually cut instead of unbolted. As you can see, you can still see the bolts here. If we wanted to simply unbolt the crash bar on the passenger side, what we would have had to do was drop the radiator, compressor, and condenser. So in an effort to make this job a lot quicker and a lot less expensive, we decided to simply cut it off and be done with it. If it becomes an issue, it's a fairly easy part to get. We'll get another one, take the existing part off, drop all the stuff that needs to be dropped, slide it in, bolt it on, and away you go. A couple other things that we did was the bumper here, it was actually moved up maybe about 1 centimeter to prevent rubbing. As you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that right here. It might have been cleaned at this point, but right in here you could see, yeah, it was clean, but you could see a little bit of rubber rubbing there when the wheel was cut tight, when the bumper was in its original place. Now, as you can see here, the valence still does rub when I cut the wheel tight. Jesse, you actually want to get in there and cut it? Cut the wheel, see how much it actually does rub?
Yeah, give him a little
yeah, let's get him.
test.
Yeah. So Jesse's gonna hit, he's gonna cut the wheel so that you guys can see actually how much the wheel does cut. Okay, so it doesn't cut that way. Go the other way. No, it doesn't cut that way either. So Yeah, so in reverse, also probably under load. So it still does rub the valence when you cut, and more than likely, obviously, when you're driving or the springs are compressed or whatever the case is, it will rub a little bit. But as of right now, it's obviously not rubbing, so it's not a huge issue. I haven't trimmed that yet, but I'm curious to know what you guys think and what I should use to actually trim that. I'm very curious. You know, obviously I have a couple ideas, but I'm sure a lot of you guys that are truck drivers and have lifted stuff, or you know, wider tires on your trucks, I'm sure you guys have come across this, and I would love your feedback on what you guys did to cut the valences off. Now, one of the reasons why we didn't actually take it off is there's actually 2 valences on this truck. So as you can see here, this is number 1, and then behind it, there's another one. So you can kind of see the other one there. So there's a motor on each side connected to the valence, and when you're at highway speeds, the one behind the main valence that you can see, you know, right in the front of the truck there, there's actually another one right behind this one that will come and drop down below this one when you're at highway speeds to improve aerodynamics. And obviously when you improve aerodynamics, you're improving gas mileage, which is probably why they're doing that. So again, I didn't want to get too crazy with this truck for, you know, drivability reasons, you know, anything. Another thing that I would love to do to this truck is, as you can see, which is a very small detail kind of, you know, thing. So as you can see in the wheel well here, it's all blacked out. It's got a wheel well liner and all that stuff, right? Well, back here, it does not have a liner. So you have a white liner. You don't have a liner in here. You only have body paint. So you have white body paint inside of this wheel well. And then you have a black liner in there. And what that does is it makes the truck still look like it's got a lean to it. It still does not look leveled. So there's a couple options. Either number 1, I can get a liner for the rear, or what I'm thinking about doing is simply spraying it with Plasti Dip or something like that. What was the other one called?
Plasti Dip.
What was the other one though?
Flexi Dip.
Flexi Dip, yeah, well, I don't know, they're all the same shit. So I was thinking about doing that. Some people mentioned that I should get a wheel well liner to reduce sound of like rocks and things like that hitting it. I'm not all that concerned. I really don't care that much. I'm only caring about the look at this point, where I want the truck to look like it's leveled. And at this point, because of the black wheel well liner in the front and the white body paint in the back, to me, it still doesn't look level. Obviously, it's an optical illusion because it is leveled, but it does not look level to me. So that's the truck now. It does have a 2.7 liter EcoBoost, and a couple people were mentioning that I should get an exhaust. I'm a little bit hesitant to get an exhaust for this thing because I don't think it's gonna sound very good. If it was a 5 liter or whatever, what do they even put in these things anymore? Is it a 5 liter?
3.5, 5 liter.
Yeah, so if it was a V8 or something like that, I'd have an exhaust for sure. I did not want a V8. I actually wanted to try the EcoBoost. This thing is actually fast as f***. Like when you put this thing in sport mode, I'm shocked at how fast this thing actually is. It's even got a wild turbo whistle. Have you heard it in sport mode? It's actually pretty wild. I can't believe the turbo whistle that comes from this truck. Anyways, that's the truck as it sits right now. I love the stock size tire with the wider look. I love the stance of this thing. I did want to go a little bit wider, but the guys that set me up with the wheel and tire package mentioned that if I go a little bit wider, I'm gonna have a lot of issues. I'm gonna be trimming the bumper here. I'm gonna have to start, trimming this thing. I didn't want to get into that. Like I said, I want to keep this thing as drivable as possible. I'm in it every day. I did have a 2008 lifted Wrangler before. It had a 6-inch Pro Comp lift on it, and it had 35-inch tires on it. And for an everyday car, I did not enjoy it. It lost the drivability once you start going, even though that's not that high, considerably speaking, to something, what you guys do with some of your trucks. But For me, the drivability of that, you know, I got to go to meetings. I'm in parking garages and things like that. Once you start going up that high, sometimes I couldn't even, I couldn't get into a parking garage. I remember the last time I tried to get into a parking garage with my Jeep like that was at the Metro Detroit airport. I couldn't even get in. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. Let me know what you guys think I should do to the truck. If there's anything else that you guys have, recommendations, tips, whatever, you know, let me know how you guys think I should cut the front valence. What you guys recommend, and I'll catch you in the next one.